Make we chop small. Delight Cocoa.
Delight Cocoa, the authentic, original taste of African porridge. Available in all African and Caribbean shops. Delight Cocoa.
Young penny for baby say, if you are sing her, be ni ma, be check. Why not chill? So per IT, we the 1 year, so per support. Slam Technology say your #1 partner. Your office will US India, your office will Ghana, so your numbers need go on. So we should share IT classes, we share career coaching, we share support for business, cybersecurity. Free, na your partner. Your back here, wow. Slam Technologies, transformation with excellence. Free is here, baby,
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
This Airbnb in Dansoman Estates, Accra, is only $40 a day and offers all the amenities for a comfortable stay. It is also conveniently located 30 minutes away from the airport. We also have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for long-term rental at Ingleshi, Amamprum, 15 minutes to the Wejito booth and the West Hills Mall going for 1,500 and 1,000 Ghana cedis only. Call Parry Group on 053-866-3532, 053-866-3532. This is Parry Group of Companies.
All right, they will say for more about SVTV Africa. So thank God it's Friday. And yeah, let's kakra. It's Fridays. Be I am in lawyer wisdom. Aka wise man solicitors obezi UK. Many program was say na. My mama kwa basa o share live or a YouTube channel so SVTV Africa. So also your Facebook SVTV Africa. Making sure say obe like obe share. Who questions be obesa ubisa na comment section ubeti me bisa no. O drop or comment section time emre no so lawyer be you no. Internet many lawyer wisdom akao baso na ya be discuss den na ekoso me won say or the bibia ba say den na eba me be bisa say den na eko. Lawyer me ma kwa boko there.
DJ Boko na wonso
Nice one. Me so me wo ye pa na obi an wo ye lawyer na mo na lawyer bosom pim na other lawyer Rosemary and everyone say other lawyer senior omo ye.
Obi an ho ye adomonti bibia ye kama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Studio so
Yes, we are here pa say me won say yes, who was studio A. What back to studio A.
Yeah. We dey a few days over home.
So many women there, minim say enya me kwa so wetin go studio B at any time. Broadcasting live from studio B. So lawyer, and now about live actually ko to about then how ka chine. Yeah, dear me say na first. Whether here the reaper ba ko na be wini.
Yes.
One wake up I ever find you better just say 2 teams in your win, 2 countries in your win that.
It won't happen.
Ah, it's about the baby. Into baby still no World Cup. Yeah, the Dean World Cup no. Near the whole tournament no, it still stand. Into more
Yeah.
motion football. It is say kwakwa to abey. Nipa ba ku na be winti ba ku ni a Ghana na ewo e wini ama Ghana nti e twa nim say Ghana na e project. Ti lawyer den na wo ka che.
Medase, DJ, medase pa, and I tear for near your point answer, yet there'll be a say. Menim say, me have a do and Chibia, and the 6th of December, in a few days' time, I think in 25 days or so, na Yako 31st of the December, which is the end of the year. And then 6th, 7th of December. DJ Usha Ghana ye kwa kotwaba achina nyame ye adomu minim se bibia ba koyie se wa register within wo voters register ne mu wo Ghana card and our voters card wako peacefully wako tuaba na obi na kan say only when you're too busy you can hang around till the end of the day but if you have something else to do wait me akọ sɛ vote polls ne ewie a wasan aba na obiara ahwɛ nea ɛrekɔ so the counting and the tabulation the transmission and everything obiara ahwɛ biribiara clear then at the end of the day the winner would be declared. It's about Ghana. But of course, sometimes one party will feel, and one person may feel that the game is not fair, another game field is not fair. What I believe in is that whatever has to be done has been done in order to avoid any kind of confusion or misunderstanding, just everybody should be attentive and alert so that Obi Uncle Daniel 6 and Yenny 9 and now for 9 Uncle Yo 6. So everybody should be attentive, everybody should be vigilant. Vigilance is the order of the day. Vigilance. Just be vigilant. From the start to the end. Be alert. Be alert everybody. And to point him, at the end of the day, Ghana is bigger than all of us. Ghana will still stand. It is peace that we want. And I believe everybody will cast their votes peacefully. At the end of the day, it will be declared and Ghana will live on. I wish Ghana a peaceful voting day tomorrow. DJ said I'm the same, but somehow never been to me. But I know there are people on the grounds who are monitoring and checking things. Peace is what we pray for. Development, progression, and the forward movement of Ghana is what we all aspire for. And the Echinadia, it should be peaceful. At the end of the day, Obia and Mbibia Ojina. The winner would, if it is fair, that is what people always say. If it is fair, if it is fair, I believe that it will be fair. The winner takes it, the loser congratulates the winner, and then we move on. It's 4 years, and every 4 years, anything is, of course, at everything at our disposal now. Let's go for it and make Ghana great again. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, let it be great again. The star of Africa, let Ghana be great again, so that we can be the beacon other countries can look to and say, let us be like Ghana. So, Echinadia, peace, peace, peace. Thank you, DJ.
Okay, lawyer. Yanko and open the deadline for e-visa extended.
Yeah.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
it's you.
Yeah. Me that's it.
And also, oh, surprise, Bisumayan.
Uh,
Oh, young lady, Bisua, or Baba Sryan from Wiseman Solicitors, and yes, sir.
sorry for me.
And also a lawyer, na.
Oh yeah, one of the case workers. I can't cry. Nyame aduma. In the next few months, now we're qualifying as a lawyer. Now,
Oh, until Nkola na utreni omubi.
Yes, and I had a room from a trainee a man of kakra, the young
Oh,
men, the young
nice.
ladies, so that they can take over from us. Because in a few years down the line, into me and to America as we are doing. But if you train the young ones to take it over, then they can run with it. Give me another 10, 15 years, DJ, I would not be able to do it as I am doing today. But
And then,
if the young ones are trained and they take over, they can run with it and run with it faster, stronger, and better with the with the vision. So it's not about us; it's about the generations are Amoba after us. So in Tubaha, we have 4 young ladies here. Paula Granting, or Fosu Granting, Rosemary Obo, Rosemary Golo is here. We have Priscilla Obo, she's here. And we have Sarah Obo also here. And we have Abigail is here. We have Daisy. So it's like a late women's team. And they are all young and upcoming lawyers. So can you
wow.
just imagine in the next 1, 2, 3 years, and all these young Ghanaian lawyers are taking over? The beauty, the joy of it is that you have left something, yeah, JB Biamawom, and they are and that is the vision we have for Wise Smart Solicitors.
Oh, why are there? Why are there, sir?
Okay.
Tweet from over. Ain't young welcome me, Priscilla. Oh, hello, Priscilla.
Hello, DJ.
I just saying,
Nyame adom bɔkɔɔ na wo nso
aha, Miss Mo, yes, who you up and coming lawyer. Lawyer who are
mepakyɛ nkakra nkakra.
fantastic. You know who power why?
Mepakyɛ yi omu ate.
Fantastic. And Che, no, Baba, my update. It
Yes.
who says, you starting to update.
I
I
soon.
like that. Okay. Lawyer, so over to you and your Priscilla. Priscilla, what about there? Lawyer Wisdom Akawose, one of my update for deadline for e-visa extension. Over to you.
Mepakyɛ
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Priscilla. Priscilla, you're welcome. You have to introduce yourself, your full name to the people, and they know that you are a solid force to reckon with. So, the name is Priscilla
oduro ɔboɔ.
Odro Stone. Yes, that's right. Obua and Odro, so heavy stone. All right. So, Priscilla, I'll give you the chance now to give us the step by step how I ever e-visa. So, yen na yenim about and I am about the electronic visa. I've discussed this on this platform, but I want to take it through briefly again. Then I give you the opportunity to take everybody through. E-visa and it's the E stands for electronic visa. First, not your visa and your indefinitely your stamp is your passport. No, if you honor and you call sticker in the passport. If you sticker no, and you call card. If you card, you call electronic. And the younger you work electronic and I work the card now, we are transitioning to the electronic visa. It means that very soon who are sitting around, so there is nothing to hold physically. You can't hold anything physically. It's all in the air. It's invisible. It's intangible. Even though you can open it and see it, you can't. You can't. It's invisible. Your leave is in the air. And not any electronic visa. Younger, your old style passports no are sticker no woman no. You cannot do the e-visa as a set we NTL, no time limit, to move you from the passport with the visa or the sticker in it to NTL. From the NTL, now it is approved. Now I call for the registration, or you do your you create an account and then you upload your supporting documents. No, and now the system we are talking about now. Now it was meant to take effect from the 31st of December. That is 31st of December 2024. Obia card every week, then the e-visa kicks in from the 1st of December, the 1st of January 2025. But thankfully, government no AMA extension, and the extension is that it has been extended from the 31st of December to the 31st of March 2025. It's been extended from the 31st of December to 31st of March 2020. That is 3 months extension and yɛde ama yɛ which is a very good thing. It is a don't give up. You can still do it from now up to 31st of March 2025. Over to me, IEU electronic visa. Now we have two systems. We have the EU residence card for, and then we have the biometric residence permit for. And people are having some problems doing the whole thing. Remember, Lawyer Prisla will take us through the steps as to how to go about it. Then I'll look at some other thing for the day, and then we answer the questions. So, Chris, thank you very much. Can you take over and help us to go through the process? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lawyer Wisdom. So with the e-visa, no, maybe I should choose. I was say create account na we say be access no later on if you need to prove to employer and I say current and I say for any other purposes UK hanum. But before that, no, it's a very easy and simple step. You just go on Obeko Google until Oko online and na wabo e-visa apply. Obo e-visa applier, then the first link that pops up and now ube choose it would be the government website, UK government website. So it would be evisa.gov.uk. Nti umia eno so na wa scrolli ube screen no and odo suffer so ekosro kopim se ube button be on mattress start now. That means you are starting the application, creating the account. Heading on create a UKVI account to get access to your e-visa. Nti umia sell green button, let's start now. Ebe bisa omude we nsemfua mienu enebeba. First one, I was last granted permission to come to the UK before November 2024. And our second option, you were granted permission to come or stay in the UK after 1st November. And before biometric card because before November 2024 now government issue biometric cards and then after would be online reference so if you were last granted before 1st November ube miasa option and then you click on continue. Once you click continue, the next question would be say, Omama or BRP, have you ever had a biometric card before? Then you click on yes, because if you were granted before November, that means they would issue you with the BRP card. And then you click on continue. Then the next question would be, do you still have the biometric into card now or and that's all? Then you click on yes and then continue. Then they will ask you, does your card is your permit valid? Into card issue before November there is a validity period of until
I think Lawyer Prince Lako of I don't know, but so Otimi Babaka, I'm fixing the back, share live on SVTV Africa. Many Wiseman solicitors and share live. I saying I think Lawyer Prince Lako off. So from side Prince Lako off. I don't know what happened. So you call and I say
Okay, my one commercial here, but I'm sorry, see fine.
but we say we come back.
Oh yes, please.
sorry. Yeah. To set Jamaica, then it will take you to the next and the most important part of the application that you get to create a UK visas and immigration account. And with creating the account, it would also be highlighted on the green, create an account. So they will ask you, who are you creating this account for? At the moment, with the e-visa, it can, it's up to you. If
Priscilla,
yes, me
but
pacho,
call lawyer wisdom on ako use a laptop no why.
me pacho, yo, let me.
Or you lawyer wisdom and a laptop no. So lawyer my Priscilla use Dex no we are now you just change over no abet na say. So more use or about transfer just take over. I think that will help. Right here for Mumpancha, I hear some quick change why. And no phone to them, so no friend. I'm preference kati. So move on comment questions be obesa obisa lawyer wisdom akawa obetimi obetimi ato comment section na we bisa no instead na dey be answer first time near all the questions be obesa obisa na obisa time ni do am better screen so now answer but see there Priscilla na my update about deadline for e-visa no so Priscilla over to you we are not
Okay. Me pacho me da sepa. And to set the America before no. Once you get to the most important part of this process, it will ask you to create a UKVI account. And also ubemia sa button that says create an account, and then it would there would be two options, whether you are creating it yourself or somebody is helping you to create the account. And normally we use at this stage we use the applicants and nipana we one email and then account details, but then you have clients who do not have email addresses. So we use the office one just so that we can have access to them in the future. And in this case, if you are able to and you have your own email address, you click on you. So you are creating the account for yourself. And then you click on continue, and then it will ask you about your name, your first name, your surname. You put in your name, you put in your surname, and then you click on continue. A baby saw what nationality or country you are. Ghana, you put in Ghanaian. If you are any other nationality, you put in your nationality in there, and then you click on continue. Then they will ask you what identity document you are using. So this is very important. I think that it was said yeah more ahanumi say with the identity document that you're using. If you have the biometric card now ever expire 31st December, but then you have a passport validity no, there is 5 years additional, there is 10 years Ghana passport you are renewal 10 years. So it's important you use the travel document, which would be your passport, because card never expire within December, and after December no, they will not issue another card to you. So you just enter your passport details instead of the card details. So OCA or passport, they will ask you what your passport number is, your date of birth on the passport, and then when the passport is expiring, and then it will take you to the next stage, and then it will ask you about your email address and your telephone number. Until once you put in your email address, they send a code to your email. Obe confirm me code no. No almost send bisa number or person we use o the number no so ya ombe send the code ama number no. Now I confirm me number no code no mo be send no. Then once this is done, your account is created. Or create account na amount. So what you need to do, Obesa sign it back in how you started from the beginning. Until from the beginning, they ask you who create your account number. Why also you use your passport information. Now, Omobisa said, do you have access to an iOS or with Android phone? So we use iPhone, I also I or iPhone, we use Android, so I also or Android. So this is where it gets a bit tricky, but and yet big deal be a call app store ne so into app store no ubebo UK immigration ID checker. And no na wo de be confirm your identity into no no wo de be scan w'anim Now send the scan or passport na ekura wo no. So once you download the immigration UKVI ID checker no, it would be the one with the pink purple logo. The logo no purple and it has the crown on it. And once you download, over sign in into wo account now we're creating no or laptop or the phone ne so no, then now we link a code or mobile send the code ama or phone number now we use the create account from the very beginning no, or the email address no, they will send a code to you. Now we link it sa ID checker UKVI ID checker no any account no album. So once you link it, they will ask you what document did you use to create your account no. Here you choose international passport. Say if you have been issued a passport or any EU passport, so that means African passport, because I have a passport no chip and shim and wuntimi scan chip na a passport nim no. But ukra card that wutim scan chip na a card nim no. But in this sense, we are no longer using the card. Into passport no, you choose international passport. Once you choose the passport, it will ask you to scan the passport. Nti ɛno ara draw camera ɛwɔ wo phone ne screen ne so ama wo. Wode to passport ne so a, ɛno ara you don't need to move the passport around. You don't need to click on anything. Ɛno ara scan the passport no itself. Scan the numbers na ɛwɔ bottom of the passport. Scan wo din wɔ passport ne so. Na scan the expiry date ɛwɔ passport ne so. So once it scans it, it will tell you to scan your face. Into you scan your face, you find a very plain background, a white background. You scan your face. Scan na a shadow da honoma intimate scan it. And if you have on a hat or you have on sunglasses or any glasses of that matter, intimate scan it. So once you scan your face, it will tell you to take a picture. In this picture no mo de be match your picture wanim na was scanning or your identity, in this case your passport no. So you take a picture. Once you take the picture, automatically or more you click on submit, it will go and link itself to our account now we're creating no. And this say yeah we phone no government ID checker ne so e be sign no out completely. Then you go back to when you started the application again. Into this time round, you log into the application, then they ask you, why buy an alpha to create your account or no? So I remind you, we first use the passport from the beginning. You put in your name, your full name, your date of birth, and your passport number. Then it will ask you, yen send the code nema or number now we use na or email now we use no. So you choose either of them, whether your telephone number or the email. Now I send this 6 code way 6 the same numbers to your phone. Now I enter. That means I log you into account. Now like I said, complete application into application. Or you when you get to this stage, you cannot move on to another step without completing the first one. Until you're highlighting in blue, no, you click on that one, which is confirm your identity. You click no catch also automatically way you now change no app now change no any identity now muteki and I link it to account no, so you can now continue. Then the next question would be, are you in the UK? Then you answer yes, I am in the UK. Say if you were issued a card before November 2024, they will ask you, do you have a card? Or say yes, then they will ask you what is the card number. No about card nashim, then it will proceed. If you were issued after November 2024, a baby will say, were you given a reference number instead of a card number? No, they will ask you, were you given a reference number? Until now, all the reference, then it will move on to the next question. The next question would be, Oba, since you have been in the UK, no? Yeah. So the next question would be to create 3 security questions. For you to remember the security answers, maybe in the future you may need to contact the Home Office for details on your application or anything for that matter. You choose 3 of the questions that you think you will remember in the future. The easiest way you can do this would be using questions that are the answer related to the place you were born. So what we use for clients that are easiest for them to remember, the first set of questions would be where in what town or city did your father and mother meet. So your passport in my baby, I will no be a cry, Kumasi, Koforidua Takrade. You use that one, say Kumasi, I will see Kumasi. The next set of questions, in what city or town were you born? Now what you say Kumasi and Koforidua na baby, I will no. And then the last one would be, where was your father born? Nti and also no was choose Kumasi na Koforidua, so that later in the years to come, when you call home office, no mubisa say any question they ask you, you just say Kumasi or Koforidua because you don't remember the different answers you gave. So if it's just one keyword that will make you remember all the other questions, then it's fine. You choose one. Until once you are finished with that, then they will tell you to submit the application. There will be a security question where you need to confirm the application. Are you applying this application on yourself or by yourself, or is somebody applying it on your behalf? Then you click, you are submitting it on your behalf. So once you do that, you click on submit application and then finish and submit, and that's it. And you submit here, you have the results can be instant. Your client be or submit it na no the email about say your e-visa is ready to view now. That means or log in na using a passport no the application no the date of birth and the passport number, that's it. So when you also there and yeah, it can take between hours to days or even weeks for it to come in. Into one say number send you email. So in case you travel outside, you need it for anything, Omokase is ready to view. Once it's ready to view, you always log in with the passport number, your date of birth, and then the expiry date on the passport. Then they will send a code to you. Nti mepacho, if anything say oye na waduru finfin baabi na owo asɛm bi bisa wobetimi, you can always call the office and we will be happy. We are happy to help anyone. Mepacho nti mano ato.
Thank you, Lawyer Priscilla Obo Stone. Thank you very much. You've been very, very clear. And to DJ, Priscilla, I might break down step by step as to how to get the e-visa account created. Now, who created account new, how to connect or link your identity document to your account. Nea mɛka ne sɛ yɛn a yɛwɔ under EU settlement scheme no, ebinom deɛ ɛba automatically, ebi nso deɛ no sɛ wowie a you now have to link your identity document to your account. And in order not to have any shock in future, nti obiara ɛnkɔ system no so ɛnkɔ check nhwɛ sɛ ne deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ anaa sɛ ɛnni hɔ a please call for help. Call for help. You can be helped by your child, your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother, your father, your mother, and a friend can assist you in getting your e-visa account created and also in having your identity documentations linked to your account so that you don't have any problems from the 31st of March 2025. From the 31st of March 2025. Mijidi said it is all clear. So, all questions here, you can always call us. You can always get back to us for any assistance. Here, say over officer, you can always come and we will assist you. Nipa bebre no episode they just come, we get it sorted for them, and that's it. And that will be fit all the way from Wales. Or see lawyer, met me yet, but me pay how me pay any stress into me. I'm why ya mammy or buy here, you're sorting it out a manner or come back to the Ufi buyer. So you can do it yourself. You can do it yourself. You don't have to let anybody do it if you can read and understand the steps. Wangasa ubetumi aye. But se want to me enyam mpoa. I know and I make kind say you can ask for help in getting it sorted. And thank you all, Lawyer Prisla. Prisla, thank you for the clarity in explanation and the step-by-step approach you've taken us through. We are very, very grateful. So thank you. DJ, believe me, you said questions be ever about this. In any case, what I would go on to do is I'll look at the another topic. Then after Anono, then we can take some questions that may come up. One, Yakasa about EU family members and Omwa, they are having difficulties in renewing or in extending assistance. Example, so ubi awari EU ni na say after maybe 2 years, 3 years relationship no, I break it down. EU national na worry no so say no woni bibia owo ama your whole life is now like more or less like at a standstill. Edieng ena ubeye in a situation like that, what do you do? What worry you name and no 5 years no so aso ana akakakra na 5 years na so wonni bebe owo edian na wobetumi aye ansa na wanya asitna ano and your friend retain right of residence. What can you do? So I'll take a few minutes now by explaining what can be done in a situation like that. So, who worry you near? You have become a family member of the EU national. There are different scenarios. So, we are family member of the EU national. And Mranisa as a set with Nakruma for 5 years. 5 years, after 5 years now, we get your application for your indefinite leave to remain. Now it's called indefinite leave to remain, and now your settled status to be in the UK. But there are occasions, so I already did 5 years now, and then you don't have a problem. Would you idea just what not come up for 5 years? And the idea just say you need what not come up for 5 years now. Would you send me now ever come now your application for your indefinite leave to remain? Now, say a bus for one reason or the other, our to me in the 5 years, no, maybe along the way you developed some difficulties, and because of that, the relationship broke down. So, yeah, there are requirements set our any gumpo over me faso again, and then the friend retain right of residence. So what are the requirements ansana ubetumi anyawa sitna eokroma on the basis of you having retained your right of residence? Number one, asese uchese aware no edi more than 3 years ansana wo she awareja yase. The marriage should have lasted for more than 5 years, more than 3 years, I'm sorry, more than 3 years before you start the divorce proceedings. So, our in 3 years, now we share our jaya ebeshiegu, wa bregu kwa. After 5 years, no, newa yeni nano ashiegu. And until you have to ensure that our already 3 years before you start the divorce proceedings. And until ɛnyɛ da yɛde card ne ɛma wo ɛna yɛhwɛ ɛnyɛ date na ɛwɔ card no so na yɛhwɛ ɛnyɛ date na ɛwɔ wo passport mu na yɛhwɛ ana visa no so na yɛhwɛ yɛhwɛ date na ɛwɔ the marriage certificate ni so. Date na ɛwɔ marriage certificate ni so. That is when we start counting the 3 years from. So you married to an EU national in 2019, 12th of April. 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 12th of April. That is that is 3 years. So you can only start the divorce proceedings after the 12th of April 2022. That is, you have shown set already more than 3 years. Ansana will check our giant Nasi. That is that. Ɛnyɛ date na ɛwɔ card no so na yɛhwɛ. Ɛnyɛ date na ɛwɔ passport mu sticker no so na yɛhwɛ. Nea yɛhwɛ no yɛ date na ɛwɔ wo marriage certificate no so. Ɛno ɛna yɛde hwɛ whether sɛ aware no di 3 years or less than 3 years. The next thing is sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ sɛ mo mmienu no moatena kurom ha for at least 1 year out of the 3 years no anaa. Saa 3 years na moka no aware no edi no moatena kurom ha for at least 1 year out of the 3 years. Ɛno ɛne the second requirement. So the marriage has lasted for more than 3 years and you can prove that you have lived in the UK for at least 1 year out of the 3 years in the UK. You and the EU national, except which is what's not for that duration. The next thing is on the date, Moshe divorce Nasin, our year Nasin, as a son which I say, na EU neno over Krumha, over Krumha. As a son which I say, na EU neno, won't feel Krumha or that's so Krumha, and now or indefinitely to remain an unsettled status. So over natural sir, then that is evident that the EU national is in the UK or was in the UK at the time that you started the divorce proceedings. Again, and I would debate say obi wo krom ha ampa our bills, gas, water, electricity, telephone, hospital records, GP letters. All this is evidence that the person is actually in the UK. Yankasa as a waha ejuma, but as all any presence in the UK on the date we share divorce na sena. And so chese na owo ekrom ha. So okrom na oye ejuma, wait me the pay slips. And now the bank statement that is active and that would be ampa or kroma or yejuma. Now when we talk about an active bank statement and not a dormant bank statements need be hokeke. Sikebia nkom, sikebia film, no credit card, no debit card transactions, nothing bought, nothing paid for. It is just a dormant, empty, dead account. No, wontumi mfa nkyerɛ sɛ nipa no wɔ kurom ha. And that is why you need an account active account here in the UK. Ɛno ɛna ɔde bɛkyerɛ sɛ yes, yiyi ne no ɔda so ɛwɔ kurom ha. There was one occasion where, not one, but a few occasions where not yet evidence, I just not even the EU union, but the applicant, the non-EU family member. You hear evidence said not all but not on ye juma during a certain period. And you try to ne or suffer the edit letter no, or draw letter, and or the two the letter has to say many or suffer a simisi. Sunday pay or a sorry or quite sorry every Sunday, or you're very instrumental in the church of what XYZ. I don't see met me the one dance set or yeah, sorry or you be or wapa. So a him poset move framing every time question. I am more than willing to avail myself to respond to any questions that you have. And to offshore sound letter no or the go Home Office for Ambisafri in a few occasions, in a few cases, they were successful in that case. Of course, so Uber onto ebi a yiyi ne no wɔ ha ɔnyɛ adwuma biom nanso ɔno nso wɔ kurom ha a ɔkɔ asɔre a again asɔfo no bɛtumi atwerɛ letter bi de aka ho akasa mpa I ɔyɛ yɛ church member ɔyɛ very active very instrumental and adwuma deɛ we don't have much about to say about it by themselves wɔ kurom ha ɛno nso bɛtumi ayɛ adeɛ a wɔbɛtumi agyina so to fight your application so that is also another point in terms of documents and multimedia training. And now say you know any benefit in terms of universal credit, child benefit, child tax credit, housing benefit, income support, income and employment support allowance. If any of these things are being received, or multimedia no so the account I just ampa or krom and sana mushe divorce now say. So that is very important, or these are some of the things we can use to prove that the EU national was or is in the UK at the point when you started the divorce proceedings. We are not talking about when the divorce ended, but we are talking about when HRCF. That is very, very key. The next thing is, and so which has apart from the fact that the marriage has lasted for 3 years. The EU national was in the UK at the date you started the divorce proceedings. And so, who now we are the non-EU family member now, who also we are Juma and now we are self-employed person. So the requirements are four. 1, 3 years before the marriage started breaking down or before the divorce started. 2, 1 year proof that you've been in the UK with the EU national. 3, evidence that the EU national was in the UK on the date that the divorce started. And 4, who are we the non-EU family member now? Who after the divorce? Now we are self-employed person. Now these are the requirements that Uber Media using at the application for indefinite leave to remain as a non-EU family member will indefinite leave to remain. So that is very, very important. There are occasions papa ne sɛ memfa me pay slips ɛmma and anaa memfa me bank statements ɛmma but wonim paa sɛ ɔwɔ kurom ha a ɔreyɛ adwuma ɛdeɛn ɛna wobɛyɛ ansa na woahu sɛ ampa ɔyɛ obi a ɔwɔ kurom ha. There is a provision in the law as it said the Home Office, they have the power to contact the HMRC, to contact the tax or the revenue office to get information about Ubi Salipe or Kromha na Oni a Kromha. That information and nobody Home Office for to make a decision in your application. There have been a few we handled. Clearly, Obama said there is nowhere or this information even obey because any Ojana or Johnny Yaya and Tinyadia or the information even man. But Emransi Emra and Tro HMRC no and HMRC a kind say, oh yes, there is evidence that Mami na or yet a Juma Okruma. And now this individual and not or your set or Kruma or Yejuma. And on that basis, that is the provision under the Immigration Act 1970. On that basis, Nipano Enyana Sitina Ewokuma. So these are some of the ways these are some of the requirements you need to meet before you can go on the basis of retained rights of residence. Otherwise, you may have, if you have a child with the EU national, I will find a good school. No? That is also a basis of retaining your right of residence. Or one party is passed away, you could also still retain your right of residence on that basis. So generally, we a requirement wobɛtumi di akɔakɔgye wo indefinite leave to remain anaasɛ wonya wo indefinite no mpo a wobɛtumi anya another 5 years wode bɛtena kurom a once will sort it out. So clearly, this is an area of difficulty for a lot of people. There is another very important thing. Yeah, people besides say, lawyer, yeah, not together. Papa no or Northampton, means not London, and now near now or London, I was near not your room, and then everybody is saying, say, everybody is saying, say, make me actually say it's not wrong. And yet, say, would not the same address. You follow case laws actually say, a who ain't here say, move not the same address. The most important thing is that move UK. It's not about living in the same address, but living in the UK. So as long as you can prove that you've lived in the UK with the EU national, you can be living in Birmingham, they can be living in London, or you can be living in Sheffield, they can be living in Wales. It does not matter. The most important thing is you are here in the UK. Once that happens, you are able to apply as a person who has retained the right of it. There's a case of Diata which says that even if you don't live under the same roof, the most important thing is that you are family members of the EU national and you live together in the UK. On that basis, you wait near your Sidna as a person who is eligible for indefinitely to remain or settled status under the EU rules. So I will leave it at this. I believe we may have one or two questions. I'll respond to it or I'll respond to them and then we can bring the session to a close. DJ, thank you very much. If you are with me, DJ, okay, thank you. Richard Segu, hi. I'd like to thank you and your great team for all the good works. Through you, my sister's case has been successful. Thank you. University of DJ has been good too. Thank you, Mr. Sego. It's a pleasure for us to be of assistance to our people. What more can we do? What more can we do? Thank you for always listening and sharing and patronizing and referring. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Abredu Kwame. Good evening, lawyer. Please, I applied for UK visa to join my wife in the UK, but my visa was refused. Now I have got divorced, but I get new wife. My ex-wife and my new wife's mother's name and father's names are the same. That is very unusual that your old wife and your new wife, their parents' names will be the same. Very, very unusual. But if that is the case, then so be it. If it is so, then of course you shouldn't have to worry about it. They may ask for interview. They may call you for an interview, and you just have to explain that incidentally, your ex-wife's parents' names and your current wife's parents' names are the same. But this is very rare, very, very rare. It doesn't happen often, but of course, if it's happened in your case, you should just be ready. In case they call you for interview, you can go and explain that it is just a coincidence and they are not siblings at all. Thank you. Abredu Kwame, and the date of birth, my brother, I don't think it can't be so. At least even if the names are the same, the dates of birth cannot be the same. Or even the dates of birth are the same, the names cannot be the same. Let's be very honest with ourselves here. Let's be honest with ourselves. I don't think it can be so coincidental that the names, the date of birth, everything will be the same for both parents. I wouldn't buy that at all. But even if it is the case, then be ready for an interview. If they call you for interview, you must be ready to go and face them and respond to their questions. Thank you. Andrew Barden, hi. I have a settlement visa in my old passport. Can I get an e-visa for that as well? Visa was granted in 2002. Hello, Papa Andrew. Unfortunately, you cannot get the e-visa straight away because your case is quite a legacy case. It's quite a bit far back because we have the stamp to the sticker to the card to the e-visa. So you can't jump from the stamp or the sticker straight to e-visa. So you have to apply for something we call NTL, no time limit. NTL. So go to Google and enter NTL application form. It will pull out the form for you. Complete the form as best as you can with all the necessary information they require. After that, you book appointment and go and submit your biometric, your fingerprint, and they'll make a decision. Once it is approved, you will be given a link, and with that link, you can then create the e-visa. So you cannot jump from what is in your passport to the e-visa. You have to go through the channel of the NTL to get to the e-visa. Thank you, Mr. Badman. Alternatively, what I advise some clients is that if you are eligible for citizenship, why don't you go for the British citizenship rather than going for the e-visa? Because if you have the British citizenship, you don't need the e-visa. So rather than doing the e-visa, or doing the NTO, waiting for some time before it comes, if you are eligible for the British citizenship, please just apply for the British citizenship, naturalization as a British citizen, and then you get that so you don't have to do the NTL and the E. But that is just my advice. That's my view. Thank you. Now, in case the lead applicant sponsor's license has been revoked, and got a new COS, do the dependent need to apply for another visa along with the lead applicant? Yes, I would always say yes, because you came with a reference number, a COS reference number code. Now, if you your sponsor or your main applicant has moved to another sponsor, remember they will be on a different code. Why do you remain on the old code? Please, if you can, move to the new code with your spouse. However, last week or a few weeks back, not last week, a few weeks back, I mentioned that some codes you cannot transfer onto some codes, or you cannot move with your sponsor on certain codes. And those codes, if you go to Appendix Skilled Worker or Appendix Health and Care Worker, you go to paragraph 29A, 1A and 1B. It says there that if you are on SOC 2020 6135, SOC 2020 6136, SOC 2010 6145, and SOC 2010 6146, you cannot have a dependent unless you were on a similar code and you've changed a sponsor and you are still a, a skilled worker, then you can move with your dependent onto that code. But if you are on a different code, maybe you were on 6131 and now you are on 6135, you cannot move with your dependent. But if you were on 6135 before coming and you are still on 6135, you can move with your dependents. So please, can you please check the code, and that will help you to know whether you can move with your, your main applicant or you can't. But in any case, if you can, I advise that please move with your main sponsor. Thank you. Thank you. If I am on a COS and I divorce my dependent and I want to marry a new spouse from Africa to join me in the UK, how do I go about it? Now, we have different types of COSs. Some are IT, accountants, hospitality, different sectors, engineering, different areas. Now, if your COS is uh, under anything besides the health and care, which has the limitations, you can, of course, once you are married, bring your spouse to join you. Yes, you divorce one person here, you've gone to marry another person. I would advise you, if you want to make such a marriage, genuine relationship, can you please go home? Don't do the customary one. Go home and you are there physically. Everything is in place, the pictures, the signature, and everything, the sign of the documentation, the refreshment, everything. There's all the evidence there to prove that this is a genuine relationship. Then you can apply for your spouse to join you here in the UK. So the limitation mostly applies to the health and care sector and to people who are on these categories that I've mentioned already. Besides that, if it's in any other sector, yes, you can still bring your spouse to join you. Whether it is media, photography, or different areas of sponsorship, of course, you can always bring your spouse to join you here in the UK. Now, if you look at the rules, it didn't say you should have been a spouse before the person came to the UK. All it says is your spouse. With that, I think you can bring your spouse to join here if it is not in the categories of the codes that I have mentioned earlier. Thank you. If someone has a COS that doesn't cover family and the lead applicant has children but no partner, what will happen to the children? Can they continue to live in the UK? Now, if someone has a COS that doesn't cover family and the lead applicant has children but no partner, what will happen to the children? Can they continue to live in the UK? Well, if the children are already in the UK, then you have to check whether they can move on to the sponsorship on that COS. But as you have said, if the COS doesn't cover the dependents, then you have to make another application which is outside of the rules, Article 8 application, and make them understand that you are here, you have 5 years or 3 years or 2 years limited leave to remain as a sponsored person. Unfortunately, the COS you have does not cover your children, and therefore they should consider your children's application under the Human Rights Act. That is your Article 8. You have to complete a form which is FLR HRO, FLR into bracket HRO. That is outside the rules, but you have to make a very strong and persuasive argument that you can send the children back. The children are with you here, you form the family life, and there is a need for them to be with you here. So don't just leave it for their visas or their leave to expire. You can make an application outside of the rules, and a very open minded Home Office caseworker will look at it, and I believe it will be granted for them to be allowed to be in the UK. Thank you. Please, sir, how long does it take the Home Office to email your dependent once you've reported for separation? Well, the Home Office is busy. Okay, the Home Office is very busy. Just imagine the number of cases they deal with every day. Different departments, spouse application, children's application, medical application, entry clearance, uh, skilled workers, directors, what do you call it, electronic workers, skilled workers in terms of IT, accounting, hospitality. Just imagine people who have made application, and the Home Office has a deadline to meet in those sections. But when it comes to you reporting your spouse or reporting to the Home Office that your relationship is broken, that is not an emergency. It's not an emergency at all. So the Home Office can take their sweet little time to make sure they do their basic investigations, or If they wish to, just write the person. It can take a couple of months. It can take 2 months, 3 months, or less for them to make the person aware that you've notified them that the relationship is broken down. So we can't give them a specific time. All right. Mr. Radon, hi. My wife was granted spouse visa in 2020. I believe she was put on a 10-year round by mistake. We met all the requirements for the 5 years route. We don't have the original decision yet. Oh, 2020? Today is, we are now in 2024. That's 4 years ago. You should have had the original decision by now. If she was outside the UK before coming, they will normally email the decision to you. So please check your email or check your junk mail and enter Home Office decision. Or if you like, when you made the application, I'm sure you had a GWF number. You can copy that number and put it in your email search. It will pull out any decision in that is connected to that reference number. It's GWF number. If you met all the requirements, the question is, was she here in the UK legally? If she was here in the UK legally, then of course she should have been put on the 5 year round. But if she was not here legally, then she would be put on the 10-year round. He says, is there any way we can get indefinite leave next year for her? Now, if they put her on the 10-year route, you cannot get indefinite leave for her. You should have corrected it, or you should have informed the Home Office that there was an error of endorsement. The endorsement was an error, and then they would have quickly corrected it. There's a number of days I think you have to do that, but if you haven't done it, then maybe that is gone down the drain. In any case, you can still contact the Home Office for a copy of the decision. Very likely they will have it. As to whether or not you can go for indefinite next year, if she is on the 10-year route, the answer is no. If she is on the 5 year route, then the answer would have been yes. So please go back and check the first letter. Thank you very, very much. Can someone marry in one family and divorce her and marry her sister? Thanks. If you go to the degree, there is something we call prohibited degree of relationship from which you cannot marry. Prohibited degree of relationship. There are some people you cannot marry them. You can't. You can't marry your mother, your father's wife, your mother's ex-husband, your auntie. There are some relationships that you cannot marry. So you just have to go to online and enter prohibited degree of relationship for marriage. Prohibited degree of relationship for marriage. If it says your wife's sister, then it means that you cannot marry her. If it says your husband's brother or your husband's sister or your husband's sibling, then you cannot marry. So I'm giving you some homework, sir. Go to Google and enter prohibited degree of relationship for marriage. Prohibited degree of relationship for marriage. It will pull down the list for you. You check it and see whether your wife's sister is there or not. I suspect that this is where the parents' names, their date of birth, and etc. are the same. But you have to please go to the prohibited degree of relationship where you cannot marry. That will help you. George Buampong. Hello, Mr. Buampong. Hello, lawyer. Hello, Mr. Buampong. Supposedly that if you are dependent on a civil partnership and your partner is abusing you, can you apply for indefinite and will your main partner be prosecuted or punished? Now, when we talk about civil partnership, it's different from durable relationship or unmarried partners. Civil partnership is referring to same sex people. So we have to be careful when we use this word. Civil partnership is a man and a man, a woman, and a woman. That is what we mean by civil partnership. Now, do you mean that one woman is abusing the other woman, or one man is abusing the other man with whom they are in a relationship? Or do you mean a man and a woman who are in a relationship and one is being abused by the other? Or a married couple and one is abusing the other? So, going back to your question, if one partner is abusing you, can you apply for indefinite leave and will your main partner be prosecuted? If you haven't reported to the police who will come in to investigate and decide to press charges, then of course there will be no prosecution. But if you reported to the police, there's evidence of abuse, especially there's evidence of assault, physical abuse, etc., etc., then of course they can prosecute the other partner. So that is it. You don't have to be married to be able to report if there is an abuse. You don't have to be. Now, the next question is, can you apply for your indefinite leave to remain? Well, it depends on the evidence that you have. If you claim there is abuse or there is abuse, what is the medical evidence? Where is the report from some Black Sisters or Respect? Where is the report from the medical evidence, the doctors, the consultants, the police, and all the institutions that are of importance to testify to the fact that truly you've been a victim of domestic abuse? If you have the evidence, then certainly you can push for an application in line with indefinite leave to remain. So it can be possible, but you need to have the supporting evidence. If you don't have the evidence, please, you'll be wasting your energy. When it comes to domestic abuse, it is about the evidence. So if you do have it, yes, then of course we can talk. Thank you. So if you are in the UK with 5 years visa as dependent skills worker, migrant, and you have spent 1 year out of the 5 years visa and the company's license has been revoked, what next can you do? One, look for another sponsorship. Look for another sponsorship license. Move. Move as quickly as you can. Thankfully, these days, the Home Office is being very, very generous. So they'll write to you and say your company's sponsorship license has been revoked. And therefore, you have been identified as one of the persons who is affected. However, wait until you receive a letter from another Home Office department. Until then, your visa continues to be legal in the UK. You continue to be here in the UK legally until you receive a letter from another department of the Home Office. So that is your situation. Look for another sponsor quickly and move. Please do. Touch and talk to the NHS, talk to Bupa, talk to other organizations that may have a sponsorship license. You can do that. If you have a child during the period of being in the UK, assuming you have a child and your child is a British citizen, you are also able, under the rules, under the law, you can make an application under Appendix FM section LTRPT of the immigration rules as a parent of that child. So yes, it is possible to switch to that category as well. I'll say to Solomon, hey, I believe you're doing well, sir. I am with my wife in the UK through skilled worker visa route, but we do not stay at the same area. She's in Coventry and I'm also in London. Please, would that affect us when applying for indefinite leave? Thank you. Thank you too. People live in different places for different reasons, particularly for work reasons, but they must still have a matrimonial home. So if your matrimonial home is or was Coventry, then it is expected that your proof of address, everything would have been going through Coventry. If after some time Maybe you decide to make London your matrimonial home. It means that your wife comes to visit you over the weekends or when she's not working. If that is the case, then this is the matrimonial home. It is dangerous if there is no document passing the matrimonial home. The woman has her stuff exclusively to Coventry, and you also have your items exclusively through London. That can be a problem for you. So I would advise, if you can, please, if you can, try and put your documents together. You may be able to explain it to the Home Office in future why you live in two different places or why you have two different addresses, but it is expected that you must have one home. It's either Coventry or or London, and your documents should go through the same address. As much as you can, please get that in place. Thank you very, very much. Can an AWS solution architect with a with a year experience qualify for UK Global Talent Visa? If you look at the Global Talent Visa requirements, it is not that straightforward. You need an approval from an institution, or different institutions. So what I would advise you to do is go online and check if you can get the approval from that institution. Solutions architect, very likely. Can an AWS solution architect? Very likely. So please go online. I'm showing you what to do now. Please go online, enter global talent applicants or requirements, or go online and enter immigration rules. When you enter the immigration rules, it will give you so many chapters or paragraphs, let me say topics. Select on the global talent visa. When you click that, you realize that it's two stages. One, approval stage. Two, application stage. Check if you can get approval from the appropriate institution before you can qualify for the application. So please, that is some homework I've given you. If you can do it and let me have a feedback, I'll be very grateful. But I know that is what it is. Thank you. Papa Emmanuel Amwakum. I'm 51 years and I'm married 35-year-old man. Can I do application? Of course, why not? Let's ask President Macron and his wife if it is possible. Let's ask Macron and his wife, the French president, if it is possible to marry somebody who is older than you. It is possible. So if you're 51 years old and she is 35 years old, that's about, I think it's about 16 years difference. It's not as big as what President Macron and what President Donald Trump and his wife have. So yes, it is possible. You can apply, but just make sure that you have a lot of evidence, because sometimes, because of the age gap, the caseworker may think that it is not a genuine marriage. They may want you to come and answer some questions. Be prepared. Once it is genuine, there's nothing you should be worried about. Thank you. Mary AJ, Mercy AJ. Hello, Sister Mercy. I am an EU member for 10 years. Do I need to do the E visa? Mama, if you have the settled status, I believe you have it, settled status. Go online and enter in Google, view my e visa. View my e visa. You enter maybe your passport or your the reference number, and it will pull out some drop down for you. Follow it. If your e-visa is already there, poof, your name will come up, your date, your face will come up, your picture, everything is there. You don't have to do anything. If it is not there, it will show that you have been granted settlement or you have an account. You now just have to link your ID document to the account. You have the account already, so you may just have to link your ID document to your account and then you are good to go. Thank you very much. DJ, one or two more.
Lawyer, Akpe,
Oh,
lawyer Wisdom Akao.
I pray.
That's it. Akpe kakaka. So far, no the abani nyina no. One signing, I think so.
Thank you. Thank you. You do
Yeah, the
well.
question. Why are there? Why
Thank
are the
you.
Wiseman solicitors? And then the Abegu, Yami Adoma, next week, near Atuaso.
Next week
And
by now, we know the winner.
oh, and they said by Monday, cry. Sunday, Monday, they be one. Media may say Ghana first. About the head there, ever to we. Na me kind and say they are nipa ba kube wini. Inti area, winner no whoever comes no Ghana first.
Thank you.
And the most important. Inti sisi ana na me make say enkoye ho se ukoye da uko claim ukoye ntokwa bi ni we proud free. Ye be chill so I arrest you free uko dem so uko dem. Wo be bre nkwa na wo be bre. Oto wa ba wi a eno ano no. Enye gidigidi na fe no bi be dada ko fa ballot box bi ko ye wait for papers bi ko say ni oh no no. Yes ye esua omo atwe mu wo wi ase mu me ka omo leading so many years abrofo. Americans omo to aba UK omo to aba quiet anti say ko bo obi tio anti say ko obi ko fa bibi omo to kama Ghana ye to US omo to no kama ya anti hwe nti yen so enibie na ndu won yen to no kama na obi antra ne baby ba say na I say bo world cup no final match say pressure ba pa countries no aha winner asa so say FIFA world cup no say so world cup no say almost
Everybody, it goes when it comes from.
and Ghana so ya to about still I better about the bia it's peace in the unia and one lawyer made us say office location
Wiseman Solicitors.
Hmm.
Wiseman Solicitors, number 8 to 9, The Print House, 18 to 22, Ashwin Street, Dalston, London, E8 3DL. Telephone numbers 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. Mobile number 079 31 411 042. 079 31 411 042. Yewo fiha say yebeboa whatever your needs, whatever your concerns, uni yankasa sebe year will let you know. Enye yenswa will let you know. Na
Lawyer, take away any inquiry, take away obviously take away any inquiry.
Adele Alka. Good evening, lawyer. I want to relocate to the UK, but I don't know anybody there. So how do I go about it? You don't need to know anybody here to come over here. Besides DJ Nyami doesn't know anybody here, but he comes here all the time. You know what I'm saying? DJ. So, Miss Adele, if you want to come over, you can come as a student. Why don't you get admission in a university? Once you get admission at university, you'll be given the course, you apply, you get your visa, you come to the university. After you finish the university for a year, you'll be given 2 years to work as a postgraduate person. You'll be here, and once you're in the system, you understand the system, you speak to your lawyers, we guide you as to what to do or what not to do. So you don't need anybody to come to the UK. If you want to come as a visitor, please, you don't need an invite from anybody. Ask DJ. DJ, me what? You don't need an invite.
Say we ni nyina sa program na yaye wa ha.
Yeah, yeah, BBR, yes.
Ya church mu say wo obi bi wo business bi wa register business bi wo ejuma bi a wo ya. You just have to book hotel.
Yes.
So book hotel na all the document a eche say wo ye ejuma bi wa. Adekunti a na ka de na nka bi na omo rejecting and visa ni bebe no ye isika sem.
Esika Semna.
Number 1 isika adekunti a boni ni mpesa wo be ko ni krom a wo ba koye beg ukwa to unis dudu wana unis kaden be either so ba ko jina street so apa nkofo cho ana so ba ko food bank So go short your mo aduane ni ade nti pesa into pesa o make sure say wo sika wo ho problem no wo bi ade bi a wo ya ma wo sika nti wo account mu ni ade na account mu nya fekra wo adwuma bi a wo ya tia wa ana so wo adwuma wo ya tia wo ho wo sika bi wo ho aha
Come on.
enu na eche nya say wo nu buku wo na enu kwa wo do document ko say bi a adwuma ni company registration say na wo ya wa ware okay wo ware ya say fee out team bibi kakra be say oh all the utility bills per account. I say, oh, tia bill, oh, say, oh, tia, bibi sa.
Yeah.
What about
And because last time, the other day, my application, madam for me. Madam from until I just did it for her. When you go to after 10 days, or from me and say, Charlie, the thing be. I said, wow, that's cool. There was nothing. I mean, sometimes we'll so Charlie, but sometimes we'll go so almost being you. We'll so was a capana, you know, sometimes.
Ebi wo ha, obewo sika, but obetimi awo sika, but lo so obi so betimi awo sika, but otimi justify the
Yes, one to me, she said in the source of the fund.
you show nyama ye a and to asumu ma no.
Yeah, yes.
Imagine say we say oh ye ejuma o busy, o eju ye ejuma, o say ye 100,000 Ghana cedis. Na owe bi say ejuma na company be na we ejuma 100,000 Ghana na o president ko e ti anything. It's okay 100,000 Ghana cedis now every month no. Obesha the kind of work how ye.
Exactly.
So company no. So prove nyama bebre. So it is when to improve so ye business so so prove one mutua oka. So tanya money so prove bibi. Now convince aska we say na. But obi wo a asade onyame ne wa ye before ba obi wo out to say obi point na akoka obi chalema mbusi emphasize kadi go to no akofa $400,000 akọ to the account with 300,000 200,000 de akọ to. Odu ko to ma sa sika no edemo na wa printing na odu ko che na unya sika no we sika no free. And then had be so somebody be how sika no free na sa sika no be to account. Oh so UK mu say no ne mo amoye submission and say anya de wo hye wo nyama yi a nya na say wo hye wo document yi ni ade a wo de ko no so nim say credit like legit wo nim say say okay forgery ya bebre no koye forgery number account no ma koye format nti bo say lawyer me nim say so that we make catch someday make I say na banks no ntimi ma banks no need right say omemo the exact sticker or account no.
Yes.
What they do is say they can call the bank and find out with the dates no my say on this day the transaction be na mu.
Yes.
So maybe I'm very one I don't know chino e bia wo account wo bia 100,000 okay fine but wo dey come am wo wakoye statement no dan wo so no on free bank ni nya ni right say e bia obeka say total sika o account mo ni but obeka say bia 26 July transaction be na payment be na be mu wo so bia 26 July no na go working on their statement and now they come but bank no any bank na issue the right we know you can say bank statement o na go working on it it no bank na bank the back just say 26 July now wo show na wo payment no e dia bank on one year payment I said they make what I say me show tricks no e dia January 1 year payment we payment February and our payment we have payment November and our print statement they come home say statement no the 300,000 200,000 to 80 months
Bibi start me see there.
oh omo ye
Okay, we dey
ekwan chen there no
near me say
so lawyer dey on person be committee ama na ma fo bebre nye oh omo ye na peja
oh sir
san go fo we omo nim sa nyama we bi nti wan che yi a omo be pa o na eno na omo hu omo timi ban no
10 years, yes.
Who let me banning for 10 years near there? Yeah. So yes,
So it's always better to use a genuine account.
yeah, and the genuine
Use a
then say
genuine account.
yeah ran unim say and I make us adequate preparation no unim say obetu kwan ha enya akwantu na enya say impromptu na na buy unim say obetu kwan say my plan is metu kwan 6 months time some ho no kwa mo 3 months long
6 months.
6 months nti starting working from 6 unim say bia your man say bia 6 months June one and July June it's June now from January so wouldn't say June now be kwa summer June now be kwa from January when no one started working on our account no sa working we discuss tum scan no tum no tia na yibi na tia sa June no do no apprent the other back come unim say any huge amount pounds no mo show a movie say dia huge capital compare 500,000 500,000 Ghana cedis their tune account and yeah no mo che make sure say sika no turnover no we be ebi ko so balance ni po ka 80,000 70,000 100,000 po na o running a year on betimi am and yeah big money in dem
the gospel according to DJ Nyame.
Ose
the gospel according to DJ Nyame.
I mean there's some my catch up me there and no kra na make and it's all for big money big to tuma and there ubenya problem lawyer me da say why
Twa
me da say one form of shout out to no tia oni ade ni mo ba late
the one say
I feel like you do comment baba ya pon
I need to run.
Lawyer me da say all the best.
Thank you.
What about office location one?
You were Dawson Junction. You were behind McDonald's or no? And
free McDonald's. Why? Beggar.
Christmas there. From the 15th up to the time I ever call for Christmas break. No. Uncanny or McDonald's. You ever order man Big Mac. Whatever it is. Beggar. Whatever. Just tell us. It's on me. It's on me.
Anyway, bro, it's on you, man. It's on you, man. It's on you, man.
It's on me. You know what I'm saying? It's on me, man.
It's on you, man. Lawyer wisdom. I want to the wise man solicitors. Every Fridays, we are in 5:30 GMT. See, UK for any more time near paint. About 5:30, I'm in one and starting them. Fanche. I mean, I do my next week Friday. I'm in the beba. I have say. We'll prepare questions. I will be saying, I'll be you. No, I assume there. Adia ebeboa say no ene na esen kofo hwe na ebeboa bobu on hwe but ko say yes say connection man be say but omo feel ani nyina wa u take you time na u tie me lawyer videos we YouTube channel call live ni ma me na programs be bre u jotty point be down oh you are good to go in some me ne can last minute in some e can put me yes anya man deda bobu ana me fan say oh you new no but take your time na see sua o pese o succeed o pese o nya bibia follow ade bia o fi say o ade na ope na monitor na tie ni ye na jot to point down pa you go make am eno ano no anyway me da man say mo share mo join here live ni nya me da man say Ajiman Prince me da say Richard Ameyao Adele Alcaf me da say mama thank you so much Prince Boateng or say to Solomon, me that say, Augustine, me that say, Messi AJ, thank you so much. Abi Muhammad, thank you so much. Emmanuel Amwakun, boss, thank you so much. George Wampo, me that say, so join here. Abradu Kwame, me that say, Andrew Vandon, me that say. More the comments in by Madam say. Daniel Opong, thank you so much. Richard Sego, Madam say. Madam say FM DJ Nyame. I'm on follow your YouTube channel. Why? So subscribe to your channel following SVTV Africa. So me know we know I drop it new video. This time, you know, this week more of Japan. Yeah. Japan. It's more person mo Japan I mean the rundown in the abremo I had the open say information about we are see afanenya SVTV Africa to follow your YouTube ebebo o show your Facebook and make sure say back or subscribe to your YouTube channel na tap your domano so send be on me see videos na share videos no video be ebe to obi an share because it's on the platform so be an story be an experience me da man say kwakoto abai nyame adom akina tena me kan Ghana first nti chale all the best guys e chana no pa member live baby awo Ghana only for more Ghana nti district baby awo bia polling station baby awo bia no obetimi etwa video de ekoso obefre ye no bekasa o bibia dago bibia dadin bibia esemi wa ha me frofia so far problem bia ni those things no nti any eyewitness report echina live on YouTube channel SVTV Africa obetimi afre in na wa share so baby awo bia nti Madam Ase guys one more join here nyina Madam Ase you better link up yes Society to Solomon says your program is really educative. Thank you so much too Edward Bafo thank you DJ, thank you so much one more share nyina Madam Ase big up to Kwesi Neil Nat Kwesi Neil Nat thank you so much. You said you've been looking for me. Oh, I mean, there's something here now. Look at me, and you didn't grab my WhatsApp number or Facebook page, and my WhatsApp number, so your YouTube number, your YouTube channel, so call me numbers no. Wait me, WhatsApp me +2332440677898, and I say +2332447909002. Call me, just WhatsApp me, and I say send a voice note, but I'm friendly. Oh, friend me dear menfa. I need them. I'm follow your name because customer service you go worry. Ja voice note and I say WhatsApp message. Me respond quick. Because we in temper and unna ubenyame. But you won't call. This na me program say now friend baby. Long process. Send a voice to nyame. Oh say. Oh this. Me respond. Ebi wa na me hu a ewo be high. Me hu because messages in the door so. Madam, so all the best. Charlie, big ups. We go link up. It's a share SVTV Africa YouTube. See the video be. It was me sex education be a heavy power. Hey, punchline pa. Punchline pa sa vibe ne punchline mene nana nyako a munko tie e o YouTube release in che bia munko hwe punch pa
Charlie bring make we chop small delight cocoa
the authentic original taste of African porridge available in all African and Caribbean shops. Delight Cocoa
She has a plan, a secret mission filled by gratitude and affection. She chooses her mother's favorite breakfast. Delight Foods, House Cocoa, a harmonious blend of flavors crafted with care and devotion. The taste of tradition and comfort. In that moment, their connection deepens, a bond strengthened by a shared experience. Delight Foods, House Cocoa, a delicious breakfast made with care and love in just 2 minutes.